Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, we're very excited to do the next episode of West Wing here.
Yeah, clearly one of the best television dramas ever. Period,
Of all
hands
time.
down, of all time. We're kind of lucky in that we're doing two TV dramas, and it's Mad Men and The West Wing, which I would argue easily are two of the best dramas ever made on television.
Really, honestly, yeah. And, it's cool when we do West Wing and we roll into Succession sometimes because that's an interesting pairing too.
Yeah, it really is.
It's kind of like two sides of the same coin. You got
Right.
the political side, and then you got the business side of things. Obviously, very different shows.
Right.
But
The
they
business
both have
side's much more evil than,
very much so.
the political side, at least on our show. In the real
It
world,
is.
it's a little muddier.
Sure.
But yeah, this show, I really like the direction that it's taken. They spent the first season kind of on the defensive,
Uh-huh.
and now we've kind of switched to
Just
the screw you. We're doing what we're doing.
It's full speed ahead.
Well, and you're
They
getting the
haven't
best
slowed
out of
down
the
at all.
character. No, and you're getting the best of the characters
Yeah.
in that transition, right? It's like we're fighting for this, and we're going to fight, and really loving watching it from all of them. We're still dealing with the aftermath of the shooting, obviously,
Sure.
and some of them are struggling and not really addressing it. Josh isn't really on the show, kind of, but not really.
He's recovering.
He's recovering from
Yeah.
obviously recovering from the shooting, but we haven't seen what the impact is going to be on him.
Sure.
Emotionally, psychologically, the
Yes.
shooting. We've seen how Toby's struggling.
Yeah,
A lot.
Tony was affected a lot by that.
Right,
He's the one that found Josh.
Right, and I think CJ's probably holding some stuff back too. It seems to be, and they probably all
Yeah.
are.
I
Charlie's really struggling with it.
Charlie's, yeah, understandably so.
Right.
And I like that the first season spent so much time showing you who these characters are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they reiterate that in the first two episodes of
Mhm.
season 2. And I love that. Once you have all the backstory, you know so much about these characters, it makes everything so much more worthwhile.
Well, yeah, we like I said, they're such well-rounded characters, and you can really relate to their ups and downs
Yeah.
because of it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
they're very human, which is just great writing and great performances all the way around.
It is.
Um,
It is. It very is. It takes a job that most people have no experience or any inkling of how to run,
Right.
and it makes these characters so much more relatable, so you can see yourself in that role.
Yeah, it's absolutely a perfect show.
Yeah.
So kudos to Mr. Sorkin and the cast for sure.
He knows what he's doing.
Turns out,
Yeah.
guy's got some
Right.
Oscars to him. He's
Yeah.
doing it's a name. He's doing all right. Do want to welcome some new Patreon subscribers, guys. So Eric Paul Owens, Jordan Eckert, Sebastian Whitaker, CB, David Vincente Drew, Manira Althani, Annika, and Tanya. Thank you so much and welcome.
Shout out to
We
you guys.
sincerely appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
All of your support is really, really great. So
Oh,
thank you.
And if you guys are watching this on YouTube as well, hello there, welcome.
Yes.
If you're here, please hit that like button, leave us a comment down below, and please, please, please hit that subscribe button.
Yes,
for us.
please. For those of you who've done it already, thank you again.
Yes,
we
no
really
problem.
do appreciate it. We're very glad you're all here going through this experience with us.
Yeah.
We're doing it for the first time. Most of you have probably seen the show already before, but I'm a kind of guy when I love a movie, I like to watch it with people who haven't.
Yes,
And just share
yes.
that first time
And that's what
experience.
this is with you
And that's
guys.
what this is with
Yeah.
you guys, right? We're really glad that you get to have that first time viewing experience through our eyes because this show is so good and we're loving it so much. So thank you.
Yeah, and to pimp the Patreon again, there's a guy on Patreon who is a whiz at the West Wing. He just constantly hits us with so many trivia facts about the show, and we love seeing it.
Yeah, and everyone's done a really good job with spoilers. We haven't had it, so with one exception, we really haven't had anybody be too spoilery to us, which we really appreciate because we like kind of discovering the show as we're going
Yeah,
through
I'm
it,
going
as
through
all
the
of you
line,
did the
you know?
first time you watched it, for
Yeah.
sure. If you'd like to see the full-length reaction to this episode of The West Wing and all the other content that we've watched or are watching, please check out the link to our Patreon in the description below.
It's a great time.
Absolutely. You will need your own copy to sync and watch along with us. We are watching on HBO Max.
Yes, we are.
What'd you get? A woman named Ainsley Hayes.
Ainsley?
I love that name,
Ainsley.
Ainsley.
I don't know.
That's a cool
That
name.
is.
Producer. Don't.
He was a heel in the Revenge of the Nerds movies, and
Oh!
and he was on Married with Children forever.
Oh, okay, that's the Revenge of the Nerds as well.
So,
Yeah.
don't overreach.
Don't overreach.
Don't try to do too much. Don't try to know more than you do. Don't be scared.
I'll try.
I'll
I
step
bet
in,
she's
I'll
gonna
take some of the punches
hold her
for
own
you.
really well.
I think
The way
so.
they're setting
Don't
this
get
up,
too
I
far
bet she
from the
crushes
talking.
it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's abrasive.
Okay. You'll be fine.
Tonight from the right, Republican political
Oh, she's a
analyst
right-winger.
Ainsley Hayes.
Ooh.
And from the left, White House senior advisor Sam Seaborn.
40% of the teachers in Kirkwood, Oregon report not having sufficient textbooks for their students.
Is Sam Seaborn lying?
Lying's an awfully strong word.
Yeah, she knows her stuff.
He's lying. And you should tell the truth about education.
Please, please let them not be watching.
Toby,
Yeah.
Quick.
Yep.
Sam's getting his ass kicked by
Yeah.
Goal of the summit is to get a step closer to solving 26 million African AIDS victims. We're counting on the drug companies.
You might have mentioned that the same drug that costs $10.80 in Norway, where nobody needs it, costs $90 in Burundi, where everybody needs it.
Toby, I don't think anybody expects this White House to be anything but tough on American companies showing a profit.
Damn right.
Where was the 92 World Copyright Conference?
There's a whole bunch of women over there. Why don't you ask them whether Geneva's in Switzerland or Oregon?
Me and you, 20 questions, short answer, general knowledge test right now.
Can't win them all, Sam.
A drug they gotta buy from us for $4 a unit, they can get generic from Pakistan for 40 cents.
That's not the only bargain in Pakistan, Toby.
Do you know anything about Bonomo Energy selling drilling equipment to Iraq?
I'm not going to wave you off the story, but I can't tell you anything about it. Grand jury investigations are secret, Bill. I can't tell you any more about it.
I understand. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
She just said there's a grand jury investigation. She
yeah,
just
did.
leaked something she shouldn't have leaked right there.
She didn't even notice it either.
Not
She's like,
until
it's
she was
fine."
walking off. Yeah.
Diced and sliced by a woman named Ainsley Hayes.
This seems a little sexist, doesn't it?
A little
Like,
bit,
they're like,
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
woman.
That didn't age well.
Yeah, no.
We should hire her.
Well, you mean as a joke on Sam?
No, not as a joke. I mean, we should hire her as a reality. We should hire
She's
her.
a Republican.
Are you considering asking Congress to forgive existing debt?
It's an international health crisis. There's nothing I'm not considering.
There are people
who make miracles in the world. One of them lives right here in the U.S. In his hands, India, which at the time had been ravaged by drought and overpopulation,
I saw an article on this guy.
increased from 11 million tons to 60 million tons annually.
Norman Borlaug, I think was his name. Something like
His name
Borlaug.
is Norman
Wow,
Borlaug,
there we go.
by
Okay.
the
Yeah.
way.
Who's credited with saving 1 billion people for like
That's
being able
amazing.
to increase crops. Yeah,
That's amazing.
it's a scientist.
That is
Yeah.
a miracle.
Yeah.
Charlie, I want to hire a woman whose voice I think would fit in nicely around here. She's a conservative Republican. You think?
Because I'm told that theirs is the party of inclusion.
See? Charlie, just made a joke to you in the Oval Office.
You need an agent, Ainsley. You're going to be a star. Used to be. You had to sing and dance.
I like her.
Yeah.
Ripping these people to shreds.
There you
She
go.
probably thinks she's in trouble for what she did to Sam. You know, how dare you?
Didn't sleep much last night.
Yeah.
How much did you sleep?
None, not at all.
You slept none, not at all.
Sam?
I am today particularly excited about you being the spokesperson for the president.
I wanted to tell you this out where there were people so you wouldn't scream about it.
Scream about what?
The woman who was on Capitol Beat with Sam Sunday night. I'm offering her a job.
Where?
Are you kidding? What the hell made you think I wouldn't scream when there are people?
Oh, man.
Most people in most African countries can't afford to buy the drugs at these prices, so they buy them on the black market.
In violation of U.S. patents and international treaties.
You can't compare prices worldwide, Toby.
Why not? That's me. That's why I don't understand.
You're still going to turn profit. Big time.
I don't.
I think President Nabal is saying there's more money in giving a white guy an erection than curing a black guy of AIDS.
Yep.
Alan, if it was 26 million Europeans dying, we'd have had a solution yesterday.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I think for me and for a lot of people, we'd all be more sympathetic to what the drug companies are saying if they weren't turning such ridiculous profits
Yeah.
every year.
Well,
They're money machines.
They're huge money machines. And even today, this is extremely prevalent.
Yeah.
She seems to be a very good secretary.
Well, she'll be happy to hear that. She's standing right outside the door.
Ow.
I used to have a nervous condition.
How did yours manifest itself?
I drank a lot of scotch.
I get sick when I drink too much.
I get drunk when I drink too much. Here it comes.
Did you say offer me a job?
Yes. Associate White House Counsel.
I rode the life cycle this morning for an hour and a half. If it was a real cycle, I'd have been in Belgium by now.
This administration smug and patronizing and under the
Strong
impression that
principles.
those who disagree with them are less than they are and with colder hearts.
Don't you want to work in the White House?
Oh, only since I was 2.
Okay, then.
It has to be this White House?
The president's asking you to serve. And
Well, that's a good line there.
Crap.
That's true.
That's a good sales pitch right there.
Cost them 4 cents a unit to make. You know that's not true. The second pill cost them 4 cents. The first pill cost them $400 million. You know what? If the ground won't grow anything, you don't have an economy. Still, he stands in a room and he talks about Norman Borlaug. I think he's holding his country together with both hands.
Then let's make sure we send it back with something.
I asked CJ about it, and she said there's a grand jury investigation, and she's not allowed to talk.
Yeah.
Is Ainsley Hayes going to be the one to save the day on this? Because that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I like that this episode is largely told from her perspective as
Yeah.
well. That's really cool.
If tomorrow we made AIDS medication free to every patient in your country.
Anti-HIV drugs are a triple cocktail. It's a complicated regimen that requires 10 pills to be taken every day at precise times.
They don't own wristwatches. They can't tell time.
CJ, Rule 6E of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure says you can be prosecuted for even confirming a grand jury's been impaneled. Attorneys and jurors are under a gag order. Witnesses are free to say whatever they want, and anyone is free to repeat what they've said.
Let me get some sleep now.
Yeah, I'll go take a nap for about 36 hours.
I can't bottle up stress like that. I got to tell people stuff.
It's a terrible thing to beg for your life.
Yeah.
Terrible. My father was a proud man. He wouldn't like what I came here to do.
Yes, he would, Mr. President.
How the hell do I know, Josh?
Waiting until he hired me, which he hasn't done because I'm not taking the job.
You're not taking the job.
This White House that loves the Bill of Rights, all of them, except the second one.
Dang.
This is the wrong place to talk about guns right now. And it certainly has nothing to do with public safety. It's just that some people like guns.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
It's about you don't like people who do like guns. You don't like the people.
I don't agree with that. I mean, I get this is 20 years ago when we're a billion mass shootings since this, but that's not, I don't agree with her at all there.
Sure.
Like, there's been a lot of schools shot up since then.
Yeah. Times have changed, you're right.
Yeah.
That doesn't read the same today.
Mr. President, 3 hours ago, there was a coup in your country. The AFRC has taken the capital.
Mr. President, but I have to go home.
You can't go home. You can't go home. They will shoot you the moment you step off the plane.
God.
Thank you.
Oh, that sucks so much.
He's trying so much for them, too. Everything he does for his country, and that's...
So that just means everything they just did is completely undone.
Yeah.
Look at us. We hired a Republican. Look at how bipartisan we are. We didn't even notice that she looks like a Gap dancer. I wanted to see...
I hate these people.
Did you meet anyone there who isn't worthless?
Don't say that.
Did you meet anyone there who is...
I said don't say that, but don't call them worthless. At least don't do it in front of me. And I'm their lawyer.
I knew she was going to do the job. I knew it. As soon as she saw Barbara...
That was great. I wish... Man, with these times, I wish you could have this attitude. We disagree on things. That doesn't mean the other person is the devil.
Same team.
Same country, man.
They executed him in the airport parking lot.
God. Whoa.
Man, this should not have tear it out of you. It really does. These are not easy things to discuss, obviously. They're not easy topics. They're not right and wrong. Well, there's obviously right and wrong in the world, but a lot of these conversations are tough to have. And with the drug companies too, it's going to be a battle, and it's going to last forever.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they kind of addressed all sides of the issue, because it's an issue that not a lot of people understand, because these are complex issues with a whole lot of layers to them.
It's not one size fits all.
Right. There's just, the infrastructure isn't there to make this easier. But we also aren't putting out much of an effort to make it easier either. No. So, I mean, there's a lot to consider here. This was such a well done episode in that there was a lot of light moments interspersed with, obviously, like it's happened so many times on the show, so interspersed with so many heavy, serious issues.
Gut punches.
Which is, just great writing. There were times that you and I laughed in this episode, and there were times that it's like, oh my God, this is brutal. And this is a television series that was doing 20-something episodes a year. It's a masterclass on how to do an important television show.
Yeah. and issues that 20 years ago still ring true today.
Yeah.
Still, albeit slightly different, like we mentioned with the gun control stuff.
Right.
But I mean, it's relevant.
Yeah. I like how they're striving for the idea of bipartisanship here, but
this show is,
since in the last 20 years, bipartisanship has completely died in America. Yeah.
I do like that. This show's it's pretty liberal. I mean, they wear that pretty obvious.
Sure.
And I like that they introduced the Ainsley character
I do too.
To introduce some kind of pushback. I mean,
right.
Ultimately, it's still a liberal show, and it ends with the Republican praising them, but she still stays strong in her values and her core values, but she has an understanding with the other side and respects them.
And I don't know how liberal a show it is. I mean, I think you're right. It kind of comes down that way, but I think it's largely like, here's how a White House that actually cares about doing its job and its constituents should act, and it just happens that it kind of falls more to the left than the right, and that like this weekend we had to deal a lot with. It's not a prominent amount of people, but there were a lot of people on the right in America just this weekend who were saying, let's stop giving school lunches out because it's not helping test scores. Well, who cares?
Ben Shapiro.
Who cares if it's about test scores or if you're teaching kids to be moochers or whatever all the complaints were? It's lunches for children, man.
Who need it.
Right. If that's a left-right issue, then throw me on the left. My God.
And
you're
going to have people that abuse the system. Absolutely.
Right.
At the same time, a lot of those kids don't punish the kids.
Yeah.
Those are kids' first meal of the day. And
that's
sometimes their last meal of the day.
A little bit of abuse is the price you pay for doing the right thing sometimes.
And I like in this episode, for a minute there was a level of ignorance coming from the white men and the pharmaceutical company speaking to the president there.
Right.
In a room eating Danish, talking about what they know. I thought that they were very out of their element, and then they brought up the whole wristwatch or can't tell time aspect.
There are very real issues. And I still don't understand. I don't think they explained very well why the huge price differences were there.
No.
Different pharmacy sizes and taxes. Okay, then get rid of the taxes, whatever. But I don't buy the fact that. I don't buy that. A drug in one country should cost 2, 3, 100 times as much as it does in another country. I don't care what the issue is.
Today,
right?
Look at what's happening today.
We're
still
doing this crap. Yeah, exactly.
And the bigger issue, I mean, ultimately, it's like in the face of the drug companies, you have what's going on in Africa. And that's a whole other issue. Right. I mean, it proved this endeavor useless. And that's despairing. It is despairing. But at the same time, I like to think that there is a glimmer of hope in the world.
We'll see.
It sounds kind of cynical. We like to think there is, but it's not going to come from us. It's not going to come from you guys. It comes from all of us together. So,
right. As a type 1 diabetic who pays more for insulin than anybody else in the world, I am not a huge fan of the pharmaceutical companies.
I pay for albuterol.
Right.
So
exactly.
We all know somebody, or we all know somebody that pays for this.
That pays way too much money for prescriptions in this country that cost almost nothing to make. Yeah. And I sympathize with everybody in that boat for all different types of issues.
Me too.
But at any rate, we will catch you on the next one, guys.
See ya.